What's good? What's good? It's your boy Micah back at it again here to deliver more knowledge, more more depth, all that other good shit. So today, I'm also going to give you guys some death hacks, so to speak, to amplify your practice, to get better results from it, and you can go deeper into the current. First thing I'm going to say, to where you begin to teach others how to do what you do, you're essentially, in the spiritual sense, operating kind of like not just a teacher, but like an elder, so to speak. You are passing down your knowledge to those who are younger in the practice, not just in age, but in spiritual and energetic maturity, so they can further themselves along. And the ultimate process is for them to take the knowledge and ideas you put out and take it further than what you have taken it. Feel me? And so in this way, if you're doing it in a closed setting, like let's say you have a Discord server or you have a group in your hometown where you go and teach the shit, you begin to start a lineage of service. Also relies on the people you talk to not necessarily reverse engineer the ideas, but to understand, have the intellectual and spiritual understanding of where I'm coming from, and add your own ideas to it that you are inspired with by your own spirits, by your own deaf deities, by your own practice, and so you can take that shit much further. Therefore, more power is added to you and the whole fucking line of necromancers that have come and gone and are about to rise. That kind of thing. You see how this works out? There is no such thing as the weakest link in the current of necromancy. If you notice, there is very little distorted knowledge. There's very little infighting, and there's very little bullshit when it comes to the path of necromancy. Mainly because the dead don't play that shit. The deaf gods don't play that shit at all. Now, regarding initiation, the dead and the deaf gods do not operate the same way we humans operate in terms of temples, orders, ranks, etc. Your level of energetic and spiritual power determines the rank you get, so to speak. That's the purpose of going through various orders and tasks to gain rank in a particular group or order. These tasks, whatever they are supposed to develop the spiritual and not intellectual, but the spiritual and energetic power and maturity needed in order to move on to the next level. It's not just simply about gaining quote-unquote control over the dead or any of that other kind of stuff. That stuff comes along with time as your maturity and spiritual power get up to the next level and the next level and the next level. The dead initiate you based on the amount of spiritual power you have and the amount of work you have already put in. This applies not to just those dead or mort in your own tradition, but in other traditions that you'll come across who will recognize, okay, you have the maturity level for this, we're going to go ahead and give you the initiation. And then next thing you know, you have this current that you can work with as well because you've been studying it, you understand the basic general universal principles that make it operate, and you also understand how this current is unique in and of itself of how its dead operate. Therefore, you're not approaching them on some ego-based shit, thinking that, I control the dead or some shit like that. No, you work with the dead and you build a constructive, mutually beneficent relationship with them. Now, don't get me wrong. There are ways to actually control the dead to the point to where they don't have a spark of fucking sentience or will in order to counter your decisions. But to do that in necromancy is the exact equivalent of using, and this is not throwing shade on King Solomon, but using the fucking methods in the Goetia to control and bind and restrain a demon. It's not necessary. You can do it. You fucking can do it. But it's just not necessary at this point. You feel me? Now, in regards to how to go about initiating yourself. What I recommend is you start off with a pantheon of death gods that truly calls to you. It can be in your culture or outside your culture. It all depends on what resonates with you. Go to them and request initiation. It is honestly that fucking simple. Bring your offerings and all that good shit, and one of two things will happen. Either they will give you the initiation right off the bat, or they will be like, no, not yet. And they'll explain to you why. Perhaps you need to do more energetic work. Perhaps you need to study more so you can really understand what you're doing, so you can know all the risks and dangers of what you're trying to endeavor on. That way you're proficient in your methods, you're aware, and then you can go forth into the death arts mightily. You feel me? If they do give you the initiation right off the bat, continue working with the dead, continue doing your energetic work on your body, your mind, your soul, your spirit, all that good shit. Work on astral projection so you can project into the realms of those death deities and the dead that are in your culture or tradition, and work with them more effectively. There will come a time when you get introduced to various dead from other cultures that come to you. You don't go to them, they come to you. For example, somebody tried to send me one of the Exus from, I want to say, Kambanda or Palo Mayombe. And I do not necessarily work with that current, although I understand how it works and how to do shit in that current if it's necessary. This Exu came directly to me, and he was basically reading my aura and reading my energy, checking out, you know what I'm saying, my quote-unquote spiritual record or whatever. And he and the rest of the Exu and spirits in Kambanda and Palo was like, you know what? We're going to fuck with this one. We're going to stick with this one. Seems legit. We're going to see what he does, you know what I'm saying? And they, in a way, they gave me that initiation right off the bat. There was no fucking candles. There was no weird-ass mysterious activity. There was no passing out, seizing out. It was just you were bestowed that initiation and next level of power and understanding. It's the same way with you guys. The dead read you based on your aura and the energetic currents going through your spirit, soul, and body and mind. I say that because death knows all and death sees all. Therefore, that same clairvoyant ability descends upon the dead and those who join the death current. You feel me? Now, in regards to for you younger and intermediate necromancers, there comes a time, I think I mentioned this before in the last video, there comes a time when the spirits or the dead, quote unquote, take the training wheels off of your spiritual development and they start sending you out on your own because you're a spiritually autonomous individual. You know enough to survive in this world and to get what you want and need. And so now the perspective changes to expanding your knowledge, keeping your own current of necromantic sorcery pure, and all that good shit. If you notice, there is very little impurity in the necromantic community, all the way from way back when till now, and even going forth into the future. The death current has remained pure. You don't see people claiming to have sex with death deities. You don't see people relationship with this kind of death. No. No. It is not like that in any fucking tradition. Not just ATR religions like Vodou, Palo Mayombe, Kambanda, etc. But even in fucking Western high magic, you don't see that shit going on. Because, once again, the death has remained pure. There are gatekeepers that guard the whole of the death current in this plane. How it works, how it functions, and all that other kind of shit. And so they let in who they know is going to remain pure, and they keep out those who do not remain pure. Or, because the death current is not simply death essence, it's also intelligent and alive and sentient, they'll let the person in, but they'll let them keep persisting in their bullshit until they are destroyed. mentally, physically, and spiritually. Feel me? So when you start working with these various initiations and you start working with the spirits and whatnot, adhere to tradition or the tradition that you work with, but also add your own unique sorcery perspective and touch to it, because the death essence will inspire you to do so. That way you can take it further. Now, as I'm speaking to you guys, you who is watching, this is acting more as a elder, so to speak, passing down knowledge to those who are younger in the current. And that has nothing to do with age. It has to do with spiritual maturity and spiritual power. I'm passing down knowledge to you so you can retain that shit and take it further than what I've taken it. That's how you keep the current pure. That's how you develop a fucking lineage. That's how you do all the other good shit. You feel me? So if you look, there are, I don't want to say shamanistic, but there are kind of like tribal elements to necromancy. Whether you have a coven in your own hometown, whether you have a coven in a Discord server dedicated to necromancy, if you are the leader of this group, then your job is to pass down the knowledge that you gain, make sure your people understand it, and also make sure that they don't become mindless fucking sheep. I'm gonna say that again. You make sure they don't become mindless fucking sheep. Make sure they retain their spark of individuality and are able to put their own perspective, their own understanding, and their own insight that they gain from their spirits and tradition. They benefit individually and they benefit as a whole. You feel me? That kind of thing. Now, in regards to death hacks, give me 1 minute. Cigar trying to escape from me. In regards to motherfucking death hacks and things you can do to bolster your practice, one thing you can do is wear gold. Now, gold resonates with the sun, right? It's said that the dead don't really come out in the daytime, but they come out in the nighttime. That's a symbolical correspondence. For the dead, their activities are not really apparent when you have solar energy around you or gold that resonates solar energy on you. It kind of becomes cloaked by virtue of the energy of the sun. However, if you have silver on you or any other kind of lunar metal, then their activities and influence becomes more readily apparent on you and on your environment. I say to wear gold because when you get really deep into this shit, it's going to take a toll on your fucking vitality. Like, please listen to me when I tell you this. You will start to feel drained just by virtue of the dead being around. When you wear gold, it bolsters your vitality and acts as a buffer between their influence and your physical body, your mind, your soul, and your spirit. It also replenishes and recharges your vitality as well, so you can tolerate the hits that you get concerning death essence. Like, for example, in my practice, you use tobacco when you're working with the dead or with Señor La Muerto in the Kayanite 218 current. After a while, that shit gets fucking heavy. Not just physically, but mentally and spiritually as well. So you wear the gold in order to create that buffer, and it strengthens you and builds not just a tolerance, but a adaptation to the magical weight that you're moving, so to speak. You feel me? So you can wear gold for that purpose. Also, you can create your own oils. What I recommend, and I believe I also mentioned this in another video, I create a ayahuasca oil with ayahuasca, I think it's 1 or 2 part ayahuasca and 3 datura seeds, along with hemp seed oil. Let it sit, let it soak in there, distill and all that good shit, and then put it on. I recommend you put it on before you sleep. Here's why. The dead can communicate in dreams. There is an aspect to death magic that includes Necromancy or dream magic, dream walking, that kind of thing. When you place this oil on you, it'll grant you clarity in your lucid dreams. I'm talking about ungodly amounts of fucking clarity, to where it appears like you're watching a fucking painting in motion as you drift off to sleep. Like, this shit is real, yo. And so as you use this oil, you can communicate with a specific death deity or spirit of the dead when you're in your sleep. You can also go into, nightmare magic, casting death curses through your dreams, all that other kind of shit. Quite literally approaching the point, and again I say approaching the point, where you can literally kill an MF while you sleep. You know what I'm saying? And that comes with having control over your astral projection and being able to send it out before you totally drift off and lose consciousness. And therefore you can do what you need to do. Another death hack that I can give you is going to seem very simple. Very fucking simple, but you're going to understand it once I give it to you. Black candles. By simply grabbing a black candle and consecrating it, you can, and lighting it, of course, you can regenerate and heal yourself by doing that. You can also do this with a silver candle as well. Silver resonates with lunar energy, which also resonates with the dead and more primal aspects of lunar magic, i.e. lycanthropy. We've heard motherfuckers talking about how in mythology people have transformed into werewolves under the light of the moon. It's, again, a symbol, not for the physical fucking object, i.e. the moon, but the vibrations and the energy it causes. It causes people to bring out their more primal-based aspect to a grade of intensity that can be matched to a werewolf. I'm going to say that again. The vibrations of the moon and of silver bring out the primal aspects of the magician to such a grade and intensity to where it can be compared to a werewolf. That's how intense the primal vibrations get. And that's very good for necromancy, because you're approaching the point of working with the undead, working with those consumed by a primal hunger yet still retain an intelligent mind, that kind of thing. This is not quite working with the feral or abandoned dead, those who have just lost touch with fucking humanity completely. Like, they exist for the primal shit. You feel me? This is not working with that point just yet. This is a more tame version of the same thing. Now, when you light this black candle, you can meditate, project into the darkness. You can also feel your connection to death and the destructive aspects and even healing aspects of death increase manifold while that candle burns down. Now, I do not, of course, recommend you leave the candle burning while you sleep, so blow it out before you drift off, that kind of thing. Stay safe with this shit, you feel me? Now, another death hack that I can give you is to simply do energy work. Work on being able to influence reality just by thought and energy, i.e. psionics. The reason is, if you can do this with plain energy, you can also do it with death essence, and it removes the dependency on the tools, i.e. the death herbs, the death candles. It removes the need to go to the cemetery to do whatever it is that you do. And it also cuts in half the time it takes for you to consecrate your items and do your rituals when you do decide to use tools and whatnot. The reason is because your influence has deepened to such a degree to where you can literally think of what you want to happen, and then a few minutes or a few hours, a few days later, boom, it happens. So imagine applying that to death hexing. Imagine applying that to healing a person. You feel me? That kind of thing. So that's pretty much all I'm going to say for this video. There's more I'm going to put out in tomorrow's video that I believe will help you guys out. If you like the video, please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. My email will be in the description. So on my Discord tag, if you have any questions, hit me up. You know what I'm saying? We can work that shit out. So thank you guys, all my subscribers, and all the people who have yet to subscribe. Thank you guys for watching and supporting the channel. And we will be delivering more knowledge to you guys tomorrow. Peace.